I know. I would do the same thing in your position. It's Friday, so you know what that means. Let's welcome tonight's guest. Superman calls him the Man of Steel. Fox News contributor Johnny Joey Joe. This Kennedy has courage, insight, and plus a worm didn't eat her brain. Host of Kennedy Saves the World podcast, Kennedy. Like Freddy Krueger, he owns a lot of razors and sleeps in a boiler room. Comedian and founder of Western Razor Company, David Angelo. And she's frail, pale, and can escape from any jail. New York Times bestselling author and Fox News contributor, All right, before we get to some news stories, let's do this. Yeah.
Greg's Leftovers.
It's Leftovers, where I read the jokes we didn't use this week, and as always, it's the first time I'm reading them. So if they suck, we'll dress Joe Mackey as a dog and send him to Kristi Noem. Unless the weather's bad. Sunday is Mother's Day, and we actually got our hands on a few celebrity cards. Like this one. Mom, thanks for not murdering Dad. Happy Mother's Day. Love, Chelsea. By the way, Bill Clinton's planning to get up early and prepare breakfast in bed, and then he'll go home to Hillary. Whoa. And this one is nice. Hey, stepmom, what are you up to later? Want a party? Love, Hunter. The guy doesn't have boundaries. All right. Dear Mom, happy Mother's Day. See you soon. Love, Joe. I don't know what that means. All right, let's do some jokes. Chicago Mayor Johnson wants to move illegal immigrants away from where the Democrat convention takes place this summer. It's the same strategy Democrats are using on Joe Biden. New York Governor Kathy Hochul came under fire for saying there are, quote, young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. Hochul apologized, saying, I shouldn't have left out the Mexicans. I know, racist. Terrible. In an interview with CNN's Aaron Burnett, Joe Biden claimed inflation was 9% when he took office, when it was actually 1.4%. Burnett then stumped Biden with another math problem, asking how many grandchildren he has. Luke Skywalker actor Mark Hamill teamed up with President Biden at a May 4th press conference. The two reminisced over the time Darth Vader said, I am your father, and all the times Hunter said he wasn't. Following the presser, both Biden and Hamill took a photo together. Apple Computers has released a new ad depicting a bunch of stuff getting crushed flat in a hydraulic press. Unfortunately, it doesn't include this book. According to a tech influencer, you can tell a person's age by how he types on his phone. For example, here's a text I got from Larry Kudlow. On Tuesday, a New York City couple's first date was interrupted by a carjacking. For their second date, they're trying something more romantic, getting pistol whipped on a horse-drawn carriage. Black Lives Matter is suing the Tides Foundation, a progressive outfit that funds the anti-Israel protests, suing them for fraud. Sad. Now where will stupid white ladies waste their money? A chic New York hotel has been converted into a migrant shelter right in the heart of Broadway, where the streets are filled with destitute, unstable, unemployable homeless. But enough about the actors. A Wisconsin teacher named Madison Bergman was arrested for allegedly making out with a 5th grade student. I know, but in her defense, she was auditioning for a new game show, Are You Hornier Than a 5th Grader?
Gross.
It's hard. It really is hard. 10 more Boeing whistleblowers have come forward, bringing the number so far to 32. Sorry, 31. 30. Now it's 29. We'll just update you later. According to a new study, women who don't move their heads when they talk are likely to be psychopaths. Well, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard, said one woman. Research shows an increase in LGBTQ health-related content in medical schools. It's great news if you need a gynecologist who knows how to treat jock itch. Ohio State's commencement speaker admitted he was on ayahuasca, a drug, when he wrote his awful speech. Graduates cringed throughout, but what made it worse was realizing they graduated from Ohio State.
Yeah.
Go Buckeyes! I don't know. And a woman claims that she has a sex addiction and cannot stop masturbating at work, prompting one man to offer her a job at CNN. All right. To the news. Janitors call the bluff on rioters' guff. The custodians union plans to sue Columbia University over the anti-Israel protest violence. Yeah. All right. The blue-collar men and women who do their best to keep the school pristine say they were mistreated when the anti-Semitic took over a historic building last week. They barricaded themselves inside and left the place in worse shape than a Baltimore bridge. Calling out the Columbia president's cowardice for allowing her employees to suffer, the union boss told some show called Fox and Friends this.
Everybody in the building, the entire TW workforce in the building was fearful, and rightfully so. They stormed in, but in particular, two of the custodians had to fight their way out. Imagine that. Imagine two kind of smarmy, sort of entitled, spoiled, bratty occupiers of the building come in and tell these blue-collar men and women, you're not going anywhere. You're staying here because this cause is bigger than you. When they had to get home to their families, it's outrageous. It's an affront to workers everywhere.
They should have had their heads dumped in toilets. Meantime, author Heather McDonald explores why so many young women are leading these protests in her piece, Hysterics for Hamas. One reason, the sex differences in majors. She writes that hard science and econ students are mostly men who are less likely to ditch class to protest, while humanities and social sciences, which offer extra credit for activism, are mostly women. And so you have the front lines of protests manned by ovarians who actually believe burning flags and spray painting graffiti should count toward a college degree. Heather also calls today's victim ideology that drives academia female in character. Quote, student protests have always been hilariously self-dramatizing, but the current outbreak is particularly maudlin in keeping with female self-pity. And it doesn't hurt to have females pushed to the front by the organizers, knowing that the media will jump all over the police if they appear to get too rough with the girls. So on one side, you have hardworking janitors, and on the other, barely working babies dining on catered meals while clutching their pearls. It shouldn't be hard to pick a side. Well, unless you're the media, who pretend this is about peace when it's really about class. It's not Jews versus Palestinians. It's elites versus the working class. It's why protesters always get a pass when they shut down traffic, blocking hardworking people from getting to their place of work. It's pampered brats with trust funds and no experience versus people with real jobs being victimized by pampered brats with trust funds and no experience. But since the media, you can. But since the media are more like the protesters than anyone with a real job, you know who they're going to back. You know, janitors have been assaulted and falsely imprisoned by so-called peaceful protesters, and ironically, it's the media that is cleaning up the mess. It's the only real cleaning journalists do, besides cleaning out their office after they get fired because no one trusts them. So how many journalists does it take to screw in a light bulb? I don't know. It's never been done. I love that joke. Which means, ironically, the custodians will be the ones who end up getting trashed. Triple J.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm good, man.
You look fantastic.
I appreciate it. Thanks for letting me borrow this shirt.
No, no problem. A little big on you, though, don't you think? So, you have this, like, contrast, and it seems like the only people that care about these people are, like, this network. Like, where is the New York Times? Where is the Washington Post?
You know, I don't understand the problem here, because from what I understand, words are harmful and violent. So if I were one of those janitors, I would have just started saying hateful things, and as they cowered in front of me, walked right out of there. It's like the General Mattis used to say: be polite, be professional, but have a plan to kill everyone you meet. And so, you know, that's what those janitors should have been thinking. I hate to say it, but I'm one of those guys that, like, I live for that moment. You know, when's the day that somebody tries to trap me into a broom closet? You know, because like, there's weapons all around. And I'm not advocating for violence. I'm just saying the janitors should have taken violence to get out of there, I guess.
Would you like to be trapped in a broom closet?
Well,
I have an hour
to an
free after this show.
yeah, but I'm not trying to get out of that one.
Oh, yeah. Nicely done. Kennedy, what do you make of this lawsuit? How do you think it will play out?
I hope they go after Columbia's $13 billion endowment. I really do. They have so much money, and I don't want government involvement here, but I hope it's one of those things that makes these universities stand up and take notice. And I want more schools to treat this nonsense like the University of Florida versus my crappy alma mater, UCLA, and Columbia. Because, you know, as you pointed out on the show, it does violate free speech. You know, property destruction and false imprisonment, that's not free speech.
Yeah.
You know, I am all for legal, lawful protest. There's a reason it is enshrined in the First Amendment. That is not this. And by the way, those broads and their fake keffiyehs they bought on Amazon, they are getting their talking points disseminated to them directly from Hamas.
Yeah.
And there hasn't been enough reporting on that, but there's certainly a lot of evidence for that on some of the Telegram channels where people are boiling down these Hamas videos and feeding them directly to groups like Students for Justice in Palestine. And I asked Trey Yingst, I had him on my podcast today, so what is it like covering an actual humanitarian crisis versus this manufactured crisis on these college campuses? And he said, I hate to laugh at people, but it's laughable. These college kids can leave at any moment and go to Chipotle. But people who have been displaced, people who have nowhere to go and no food, they don't have such luxuries. So it is not a humanitarian crisis on these college campuses, and you do not get to hold people against their will.
I'm not sure it's a better deal to be able to leave and go to Chipotle.
I mean, if you want to lose weight, it's great.
Oh, it's great for losing weight. David, I'm so glad you decided to take off that I Love Hamas t-shirt you were wearing.
You know, it just clashed with the background. I still stand with it. You know.
Whose side are you on?
Whose side am I on?
You need to pick a side.
You know what? I say let them fight it out.
Yes.
Why are you trying to, you coming to rescue Columbia? I don't care. We're 6 months out from that being the Angela Davis School of Sharia Law. I mean, when are they going to, I'd say feed them the fire, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rename Columbia.
Yeah. Call it.
Christopher Columbus?
Is that what it's named after?
Well, Columbia. I mean, you know, you have your enemies here.
Yeah.
Acting foolishly.
Yeah.
Let them do what they need.
No, I mean there is a theory behind that. Because it's basically the monster eating itself.
Yeah, you know, and it is what it is. And it's like, all right, yes, there's a lot of women doing the protest, but women have always liked bad boys, you know, Hamas. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that. You know, it used to be James Dean, now it's Mujahideen.
That was a nice line.
It sucks for them because those guys prefer the goats. So.
What can you do?
Kat, what are your thoughts on the fact that protests are predominantly female? Yeah, no thoughts?
So, let's just say someday that I'm assassinated by the government.
Okay.
and people are protesting in my honor, right?
Yeah.
First of all, thank you so much. But like, you gotta let the janitor go.
Yes.
Like the dude has spent all day being a janitor.
Right.
Like, let him go home. So this attitude of like, this cause is bigger. I don't care what the cause is, even if it is my own assassination. If a dude spent all day literally cleaning up and his time is done, let him go home. Like, you know, you're not gonna win over anybody by not letting the janitor go home.
It does feel like the plot to like a redefining of Die Hard. The janitor trapped in a building surrounded by protesters, and the tagline is like, custodian, time to take out the trash.
That's right.
And it's Jason Statham.
Yeah,
Jason Statham, the silent, brooding janitor who keeps to himself, but he had a secret past as a hired paid killer in Serbia.
Yeah, we have a right to ultimate free speech in the Constitution. No rights in the Constitution to kidnap a janitor.
Yeah. Yes. And then he has a love interest, right? This girl that got pulled into the protest and didn't know what she was thinking. She might be like a psych professor.
I bet they could find a broom closet.
Yes, exactly. This is great. Somebody better not be ripping me off right now at home. Custodian, time to take out the trash. He'll mop the floors with you. Your death is on his bucket list.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.